They told us it was just a coincidence, a tragic pattern, a dark chapter in music history where brilliant young stars, artists, actors, legends, died at the age of 27. Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, Kurt Cobain, Amy Winehouse. You've seen the headlines, watched the documentaries, scrolled the Reddit threads. People call it the 27 Club. But what if it's more than a name? What if it's a deadline, a coded expiration point hidden in plain sight, counting down to something few dare to understand? Deep beneath the surface of Hollywood's glamour, beyond the red carpets and award shows, past the filters and fabricated personas, something darker whispers behind closed studio doors and penthouse suites high above Los Angeles. A legend passed in fragments from insiders, whispered across recording booths, written in journal margins that never make it online. A secret pact, known among the initiated as the Code of Nines, overseen by a shadowy elite referred to only as Astra Noctis. Some believe it's a branch of the Illuminati, others say it's older than that. But its goal is clear: manipulate cultural energy, control public consciousness, and maintain their grip on the world. Not through politics or war, but through sacrificial fame. According to occult researchers, many of whom have died under strange circumstances mid-investigation, the human soul reaches its most potent state of energetic influence between the ages of 19 and 27. This isn't about health or youth. It's about spiritual frequency. It's when a soul is most vibrant, most magnetic, most impactful. Artists during this window can shape culture with a lyric, a glance, a tweet, but in the hands of those who understand how to harness that power, it becomes currency. And once the frequency starts to fade, once that soul begins to decline, the elite don't let it rot. They harvest it. It's all outlined in fragments of an ancient manuscript known as the Book of Ether, a forbidden text linked to Aleister Crowley, Egyptian blood rituals, and rumored to be part of an unclassified Vatican vault. The book describes an old law of cosmic energy. When a soul begins to fade, its spiritual essence can be preserved, but only if extracted before the 28th solar cycle. That's why the 27 Club exists. Not because these stars burned out, because they were offered. The signs begin early. Those marked by the Code of Nines experience these strange synchronicities. They see 927 on clocks constantly. They feel watched. Their dreams are corrupted, filled with mirrored versions of themselves, speaking in reversed voices, whispering the same phrase over and over. You won't reach 28. You signed it in your sleep. Amy Winehouse was reportedly found mumbling numbers backward in front of a mirror just days before her death. Studio tech said she recorded audio that never made it onto any album. Strange, incoherent whispers layered over reversed instrumentals. Kurt Cobain sketched symbols in his journals, an inverted eye within a triangle, nearly identical to a sigil found centuries ago in occult grimoires. Jim Morrison wrote cryptic lines about doors with no numbers, only nines. These weren't artistic metaphors, they were signs, warnings, or confessions. Then came the whispers from inside the industry. In 2011, an anonymous audio file leaked from a demolished Laurel Canyon studio. In it, a producer calmly says, "She's speaking. We only have 8 months left." But when the recording is slowed down, another voice can be heard underneath, a chant. Old, repetitive, terrifying, tempus conclusus, hostia novum. Translation: time expired, new sacrifice. And it's not just the music world anymore. YouTubers, rappers, influencers, TikTok stars. They're being discovered younger, rising faster, and honestly, crashing harder. Sudden overdoses, falls, mysterious car crashes, mental breakdowns that end in silence. If you look closely, many of them leave behind cryptic social media posts, lyrics filled with veiled symbolism, or final performances loaded with imagery that, well, echoes older sacrifices. The age, always 27. Footage exists, rare, mostly deleted, of young stars collapsing during tours, surrounded not by EMTs but by men in black suits, no logos, no names, carrying briefcases marked only by a red wax seal. A tour assistant who disappeared a month later anonymously posted that she once saw a rising star brought into a back room by such men. There was a table, a mirror, and a second contract, Not with the label, but with something else. The man who handed it to him was robed. He told the artist to speak the oath backward. She ran. She never returned to the tour. The elite don't just consume, they recycle. Some believe that artists who sign aren't killed, they're transferred. Their consciousness, their influence, extracted and placed into new vessels. Reboots, echoes. If you look at some rising stars today, uncanny facial similarities, vocal tones, stage presence eerily reminiscent of past icons. These aren't coincidences. These are replications. Programs designed to carry the influence forward without the burden of free will. And what happens to the ones who resist? That's where the story twists into horror. There's a mansion in Laurel Canyon, once owned by a record executive linked to 3 members of the 27 Club. It has a sealed elevator shaft not listed in any blueprint. Locals say it doesn't go up, it goes down, to a basement that no one's entered since 1995. On certain nights, neighbors claim you can hear it moving. Just once, a local teen swears he saw the doors open. Inside was a long hallway, walls of mirrors, and at the end, a door, with his name on it. Ask yourself, why does the number 27 keep showing up? Why do young artists peak at 24, burn out by 26, and vanish by 27? Because they're being chosen, fed into the system, groomed not for fame but for offering. And you're not immune. Because, this isn't just about celebrity. Fame isn't the reward, it's the bait. The contract isn't signed in ink, it's signed in influence. In how many eyes you reach, in how many minds you shape. So the next time a young star dies mysteriously, stop scrolling. Stop accepting the headline. Look at their age. If it's 27, then you already know. The code is still active, the pact is still being honored, and the harvest isn't over. Like this video if you've ever felt like fame comes with a hidden price. Comment below. Is the 27 Club a coincidence or a countdown? Share this before it disappears, because silence is part of the ritual. Subscribe to expose the next sacrifice, before it happens.